Hi guys, welcome back to our show. My name is Gina Scafolio.
I'm Allison Vaeth.
We are IFBB Bikini Pros, and today in our episode we're going to be talking about bikini prep expectations and mental health. So you can start it out, Allie.
Yeah, okay, so just real quick, we did want to do a little disclaimer. Neither of us
We just have no certifications, no like
training, but we do have a lot of personal experiences. We've dealt with clients with issues.
Our thoughts and our opinions, definitely, we're not stating any facts, and we're not directly suggesting you to do anything. This is just what we would do if we were in your situation.
The advice we would give you.
Yeah.
So, okay. We kind of touched a little bit about this on our last episode, but one of the main things you have to be aware of are your personality changes that you start seeing. That start like from before prep and then when you end with prep. So
I like to think like whatever your current personality traits are, like some things that you do, some feelings you have, usually during prep they're just amplified. So for me, I'm a confrontational person and I normally handle it in a civilized way. Whenever I'm in prep, it's not so civilized. I can be a bitch.
Yeah, and I am kind of emotional, and then whenever I am in prep, I'm really emotional and I cry a lot. And I'm not a huge crier out of prep, but in prep I get triggered and I just start crying.
She's like cried in the gym before, like
I've cried at restaurants, I've cried with family, like I've cried because my fish came out with oil on it. You know, there's a lot of reasons, but I've probably cried.
Yeah. So like sometimes you're like that stuff can be amplified, and like also like you're hangry for a long time, so it's like you get like angry easier.
You do get angry easier.
Your patience thins, like we were just talking about in our last episode, so I'm not gonna like go into it, but like road rage, picking fights, like you tolerate a lot less.
And your relationships will change a little bit, and you'll just change towards your relationships.
Yeah. And like as you prep, the more you prep, I feel like the better you get. So like now I feel like I'm able to kind of like channel my emotions and like kind of keep things at bay. But
yeah, it's a mastered skill. Like you expect that you're gonna have those feelings, so now you take the precautionary steps to not let them escalate.
Yeah, I have like a sign in my car that says like breathe. Like
I have a reminder every 15 minutes. Allison, chill. No,
right. No, it's really like me holding down my phone.
Like no honking 2 times a day, not 15.
Not 15. Yeah. So like prep can bring out the best in you, and it can bring out the worst in you. Like I see both sides. Like for me, the best, it brings, like, it makes me a driven person, like not just in prep, but like in the rest of my life. Like I feel more driven towards my clients. I feel more driven like towards relationships, like my personal goals. And like as prep like gets deeper and deeper, like the closer you are to your show, then you start getting tired, and maybe those things like don't happen quite as much. But
and you're not like purposely slacking or losing motivation. You're just tired. Yeah, like the motivation's usually there. Yeah, it's like full force, like burning, but you don't have energy.
That's why I feel like it brings the best out in me. Like I feel so like driven, but then it also brings the worst out in me. Like where, I mean, really, I'm just a bitch. Like I just gotta be honest. Like I can just be
less smiles.
Yeah.
But that's when it comes, I don't know. It comes down to a lot of things, like just being aware of yourself. So
yeah, self-awareness is just gonna be like key here.
Yeah.
Just keeping yourself under control. Or if you do, like, you know, let's say you blow up at your boyfriend for no reason, or like a stupid reason, like recognize that you're being unreasonable, as it's happening, or like right after, and then go apologize. Like don't drag out the argument or like the conflict just because you have an ego. Like be like, I'm in prep, hey babe, I'm sorry, I'm just hungry.
Yeah, don't be embarrassed that you're acting that way. Just immediately
just fix it. Yeah, fix it as soon as possible.
Yeah. Okay, so then going into our next subject, we were going to bring up some mental disorders and psychological disorders that you might have or might have previously had, and to be aware that not only with personality changes, but with mental disorders, they only escalate.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a very select few people that maybe they were depressed and they prepped and now they're fine. But I feel like generally, like, because it's such a stressful however many months you're going through, and your hormones do change. Like, it's not just psychological, like it's physiological changes happening.
And you're hard on yourself.
Yeah.
So, you know, being depressed, you're not liking certain things about yourself already. So trying to be perfect in every way, like with your body, your nutrition, your regimen, and you mess up a little bit, you're only going to be harder on yourself and probably more negative towards how your progress is than how you're actually doing. You're probably still doing a great job, but you can't see that.
Yeah. Or like, what if, you know, for some reason your body's not responding and you're not dropping weight, and you have to either push back or cancel your show? How are you going to feel after that?
Yeah.
It's even like a bigger defeat. So it's like, if you are depressed or you feel like you might be, I would definitely like seek professional help. Or if you've like been depressed in the recent past, definitely make sure you have like a really strong support group and people you can talk to. And, you know, if you ever feel like it's coming back or it's getting worse, like, know when to pull out. And like, no, like, think about that beforehand, because when you're in the moment, all you want to do is compete. So you have to plan ahead.
So have that person, again, whether it's a coach that actually will pay attention to it and knows the situation, or a mom, dad, sister, brother. You need someone.
Yeah, and like with eating disorders,
same
there's
thing, but
like, I feel like it's just gonna worsen it, like, for sure.
I agree. I've never considered myself to have an eating disorder, and I very much love food. But when I got, you know, I prepped for about 8 months before my pro show. It was just a very long, progressive prep that never ended. And by the end of it, I had binging problems.
Yeah.
100%. And I like to say that they're completely gone, but every once in a while, I can't stop myself.
Yeah.
And I never, ever, ever in the first 27 years of my life had a problem.
So that's like what prep caused, like created. So imagine if you already have an eating disorder, what's going to happen when you prep?
Yeah.
Especially because, like, you know, what happened to Allie, she was in a deficit for so long. It's like she just went crazy afterwards. But sometimes it happens during prep. I'm kind of in the same situation. Like, I've had a poor relationship with food in the past, but I would definitely not say I had an eating disorder. It was more of just like, I wanted to lose weight, but I couldn't stop eating, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't someone that like binge ate to like make themselves sick. I just overate in general. During prep though, there's been a few times where like one night I'm like, a cheat meal turns into a binge.
Yeah,
and
those
then
are hard.
There's been like 2 or 3 times where like I seriously considered going to throw up because I felt so guilty and I felt like it was going to ruin my progress. And I had to talk myself out of not making myself go throw up.
Well, once you start creating a habit, you do it once. It's kind of like doing drugs. Like, you know, you've done it before. What's going to hurt if you do it again?
Yeah.
So be really aware of those feelings and prevent it at all costs. Don't let it become a habit. And if it does become a habit, please let somebody know to help you.
Put your health first always. Like, it's just a trophy.
Health
like,
has to go first.
I sometimes I hate when people say that, but whenever it comes to like serious situations like this, it's just a trophy. You're not winning money unless you're a pro, and only one person wins money.
That's true.
But it's like, you're not winning money. You are spending a lot of money. You're like risking relationships. You're like jeopardizing everything for a trophy. So whenever stuff like this comes into play, that's when you know it's time to pull out.
Also, another disorder, like a lot of people have anxiety and stress in their life. That's completely normal, and some stress is good. But if you're a person who really is diagnosed, you're taking a medication for it, you have very common attacks, bad nightmares all the time, they're going to get more intensified. Even if you are feeling great during prep, there's going to be those times where the stress levels just get to you. And if you commonly have those problems, I would wait or take a break.
We were kind of talking about this beforehand, but like, I feel like, a lot of people are diagnosed with anxiety. But anxiety is also just a feeling. It's not a disorder. So there's like a big difference differentiating like clinical anxiety versus having like a moment of anxiety. So, when it's debilitating, that's whenever you need to reconsider competing or, the process and what you're going to do about it. So, just know like
know when to take your break, know the warning signs, and be really aware of how you're acting. Listen to people when they tell you something too. Like when my boyfriend tells me, Allison, you're being a psycho bitch right now in the nicest way possible. I know he's telling me the truth because he'd rather not get in an argument.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So when he does tell you, it's real.
When he's mad, I'm like, man, I must have been being pretty mean today. So I try to pick up on those cues now. Before, I don't think I really understood. My ego. I was like, oh no. But, okay, so moving on from like some of the warning signs and changes and things to be aware of, mental health, like also to do with like self-love, self-care, your positivity, being grateful. So I guess, do you want to
so I like to, if you've had depression in the past, anxiety, maybe you just feel like you don't have a really great circle of friends or like someone that you can vent to. Well, like you have to remember whenever you're in prep, no matter where your mental state is, you're going to have a lot of negative emotions. Like it's just going to come with being hungry. Like the human, like we're literally fighting every instinct in our body to eat food. And like with that comes repercussions. So whenever you like have these negative thoughts, like you can only voice them so much without bringing other people down, right? You want to find like the right times, like to have talks with people, but maybe you might need to like have a therapist that you can talk to, or like even a journal. Like it could be as simple as a journal. Like sometimes you just need to like let it out. And it sounds like so cliche.
You have to let those feelings out.
You have to.
Because you're going to get worked up. Things are going to pent up. Like one of my favorite things to do besides journaling, which is such a great idea, is to listen to a motivational podcast. Something that you know that's going to release and elicit an emotion and a feeling. Like sometimes I'll go on walks and I'll cry. Like because I need to be
just let it out.
Honest with how I'm feeling and like, what am I actually doing about it? And when you're honest with yourself, you're going to feel those feelings, and you should be feeling those feelings. You can't keep repressing them.
Yeah, because if you do, it's just going to bottle up, and then you're going to explode on the wrong person.
Yeah.
You're going to explode at someone at Walmart, checking you out, who's, like, being too slow at the cashier. And
or you might work yourself into a hole where you just give up.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't do it anymore because you just never gave yourself an outlet to get better.
So you definitely need outlets. Like it could be friend group, like significant other, therapist, a journal. There's so many options.
Meditation too. You can give yourself that time. Same thing as journaling, listening to podcasts or walking outside. You're just taking time to be self-aware of everything that's going on around you. So practicing not just positivity, but gratitude. It makes a very big difference in my morning. It's one of my steps that I try to practice every day.
So one thing to think about too is like, we all hope that there are great coaches everywhere and they all have good intentions and they're all knowledgeable. But the sad truth is that this industry is not regulated and there are way too many bad coaches out there. And it's like maybe you wouldn't have all of these issues. Like if you go into a prep and you feel good, like mentally you feel good and you feel ready, and then your coach brings you from 1,500 calories to 13 and then 1,000 and then 800 and then 700, even just 1,000 for some people. It depends on your height and weight and activity, but like
when you get to an abnormally low
calories, and then they're giving you 3 hours of cardio or however much.
This happens a lot.
So often. So often. And sometimes that's what's causing all of these things for you. Like, you should be in a deficit. You shouldn't be in a crazy deficit
No.
though. Like when you're in a normal deficit, like you might get stressed out here and there, like you'll have like all these emotions we're talking about. But sometimes if you feel like you're starting to develop some kind of disorder, or like, you know, even just depression, or you just feel down all the time, you might want to take a look at your regimen and maybe talk to people like, is this normal? Is this healthy? Is this safe?
Start asking questions. And share it. Share how you're feeling with your coach, because one thing, like one of the worst things you can do is like have these feelings and these questions and express none of it. Like,
how do they know you're starving?
How do they know you're tired and that you're depressed? And maybe it could be simple as getting on a medication or them giving you a supplement. You know, I mean, you can't discredit what your coach knows, because it could be a very small, easy fix. But they have to know that those are issues
before you blame them. So talk to your coach. Just depending on how that conversation goes, you know, maybe reach out to other people. You can always reach out to a professional, like a bodybuilding professional, because if you go to a doctor and tell them what you're doing, I think any doctor is going to be like, that's not healthy. Like, prepping is not healthy. But whenever you ask like an IFBB bikini pro, like, you know, DM one of us and be like, hey, this is how much I weigh and this is my height and this is what they're giving me. Is this extreme or is this normal? And, you know, hopefully we'll be able to tell you, maybe not, but like, we're going to do our best. And if it's extreme, I feel like we'll be able to tell.
It'd be pretty easy to see the warning signs from someone who's in it, and that's a common issue, just because if you're new to the sport and it's the only thing you know and you have no one else to talk to, and it's kind of like you're alone in this process,
how would you ever know?
You wouldn't. And that's where you see a lot of these issues. I can't explain to you how many times I've been backstage and I've heard horror stories. So
that's kind of like, if you guys saw our post, that really kind of sparked a lot of attention and stuff on Instagram, is we both posted a photo of us like hunched over, and you can see our ribs and like everything, every like muscle in our body and bones, and it's pretty scary. And I think both of our posts, I think mine was a little bit more harsh and hers was a little bit more like understanding, and like not understanding, but like these are the warning signs, where I'm more of like, just don't do it. But the whole point of it was because of this, because whenever you're uneducated and you just hand over your life to someone who's not qualified and you don't know any better, and they take over and they run you into the ground, like
you're doing everything right in the complete wrong way.
So that's why we're kind of like prepared, like this is when you're ready, like know these signs for when you're ready, because you know, if you have been lifting several years, if you've been on your nutrition for a year, or you know, you should know. Like if your coach gives you something ridiculous, if you're actually prepared for prep, then you can know yourself.
Go back to research.
But like if you're watching this video right now, you're already in prep and you're concerned, still ask us.
Definitely. So as Gina was talking about earlier, prep could bring out the best and the worst in you, but it brings out the best in you in so many ways, especially if you're cut out for the sport. And I've noticed tremendous increases in my like positivity, my gratefulness, you know, just day-to-day actions. Like I'm just a different person, and my business
in a better way.
Everything is getting better, especially when I'm in prep, because I'm so laser focused on just a few things in my life.
You're on a mission.
You're on a mission. And besides the random bouts of anxiety and freakouts and road rage, you usually are a better person, and you have this vision and this goal set for yourself.
As long as you're prepared, So it's like, I feel like we talk about so many negative things on our show because we're really just trying to like put awareness out and like warn people like, hey, don't make these mistakes that our friends made or we made or whatever. So we're definitely not trying to make prep seem like this evil thing. More just like, just educate you guys. And
we want to be open about the problems that like we didn't know were problems until we were experiencing the problems.
Nobody really talks about, or if they do, like I've never heard of it.
And social media is getting a little bit more where you see these like, you know, challenges and positivity posts and like little things here and there that bring awareness, like you were saying our post that we did. But people were shocked still, and people are still shocked about all these subjects, so we just want to keep it raw, keep it open and honest, and that's what we're here to do.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.
Peace.